He was a predator right then and there. That's the day you found out he was a predator.
Yeah.
Yes. And after you found out he was a predator, did you not say he needed a lawyer?
I can confidently tell you she did not go to school with her backpack.
How was that?
Because we found it in the trash.
No, it's not a medical issue. We have a missing child since this morning. We already called 3 times, and the police didn't show up yet.
Are you listening? Or
Yes.
do you know? Okay.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am. I see you. This is waiting for a deputy to respond.
they haven't come here yet.
I'm aware, ma'am. I see it. It's waiting for a deputy to respond.
You're waiting for a deputy to respond?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long more do we need to wait? It's a child missing.
I understand that, ma'am, but I'm just not able to give out ETA. I don't know when they'll be there.
So how long do we need to wait? This
Ma'am,
is an emergency.
On February 25th, 2024, Madeline Soto celebrated her 13th birthday, surrounded by friends and family. It should have been a joyous milestone for the young girl, but just a day later, Madeline vanished. She was last seen being dropped off near her school, Hunters Creek Middle School, by her mother's boyfriend, Stephen Stearns. By that afternoon, she was reported missing, and a frantic search ensued. After days of desperate searching, on March 1st, 2024, the Osceola County Sheriff's Office announced a devastating discovery. Madeline's body was found in a wooded area near Hickory Tree Road in Kissimmee, Florida. The condition of her body suggested she had been dead for some time, turning the missing persons case into a homicide investigation. The primary suspect? Stephen Stearns, the man who was last seen with her. As investigators dug deeper into Stearns' past, they uncovered a disturbing history that cast a dark shadow over Madeline's final days. From a seemingly devoted partner to a man with a chilling obsession, Stephen Stearns quickly became the center of a complex and horrifying case. Could her mother, Jen Soto, have known more than she let on? Was Madeline's death the result of a more sinister secret, possibly a hidden pregnancy? And what did Madeline endure in her final hours? These are the questions that haunt this case, and in this video, we aim to explore every dark corner and uncover the truth. Before we continue, we want to express our deepest condolences to the family and friends of Madeline Soto. Her tragic death has left a void in the hearts of those who knew and loved her. Our thoughts are with them as they navigate this difficult time. By telling her story, we hope to honor her memory and seek justice for her untimely death. Madeline Sophia Soto was born on February 25, 2011, in Hunters Creek, Florida. She was a cheerful and vibrant child, known for her love of arts and crafts, her playful spirit, and her kindness towards everyone she met. Madeline lived with her mother, Jen Soto, a dedicated and hardworking single mom who strived to provide the best for her daughter despite challenging circumstances. Jen worked multiple jobs to support her family, often leaving Madeline in the care of her boyfriend, Stephen Stearns. Jen Soto's relationship with Stephen Stearns began a few years prior. He was a seemingly stable presence in their lives, a man who helped Jen with parenting duties and appeared to care for Madeline as if she were his own. However, beneath the facade of a devoted partner and stepfather figure, Stearns harbored dark and dangerous secrets. Born on April 25, 1986, Stephen Michael Stearns had a troubled upbringing. His parents, Debra and Michael Stearns, separated when he was just 9, leading to a bitter custody battle that saw Stephen shuffled between homes in different states: Georgia, Florida, and California. This instability had a profound impact on Stephen, contributing to what many described as stunted emotional development. As a teenager, Stephen began displaying troubling behavior. He was caught hiding cameras in locker rooms and started dating significantly younger girls. At 21, he dated a 14-year-old, raising alarms among those who knew him, but avoiding any serious legal consequences. He kept explicit images and videos, some involving very young girls, in hidden folders on his computer, a disturbing habit that would resurface later in the investigation. Despite his deeply concerning past, Stearns managed to avoid any significant legal trouble. When he met Jen Soto, he saw an opportunity, a way to embed himself into a family that had no knowledge of his dark history. To Jen, Stearns seemed like a responsible partner, but to those who would later uncover his secrets, he was a predator waiting for his chance. As Stearns became more involved in Jen and Madeline's lives, his obsession with the young girl grew. What began as a seemingly innocent interest quickly escalated into something far more sinister, as he used his position of trust to exploit Madeline. The story of Madeline Soto's disappearance and tragic death unfolds in a series of disturbing events that began in late February 2024. February 25th, 2024, Madeline's 13th birthday was supposed to be a day of joy and celebration. Her friends and family gathered to mark the beginning of her teenage years. Madeline's mother, Jen Soto, was at work and unable to attend the party, leaving Madeline in the care of her mother's boyfriend, Stephen Stearns. Although the party went on as planned, several attendees noticed something peculiar about Stearns' behavior. He was overly attentive to Madeline, watching her closely and hovering around her throughout the event. His demeanor was described as nervous and fidgety, often standing in the corners of the room or behind groups, observing rather than participating. Some guests noted that he seemed unusually anxious, grunting softly and cracking his knuckles repeatedly, a behavior that made a few people uncomfortable. Stearns' odd actions didn't cause an immediate alarm but were remembered later when the full scope of the tragedy became clear. The very next day, everything changed. February 26, 2024, it was a Monday like any other in the tight-knit community of Hunters Creek, Florida. Parents were picking up their children from Hunters Creek Middle School, but when Jen Soto arrived to pick up Madeline, she found that her daughter had not attended school that day. Jen immediately contacted the school administration, only to learn that Madeline had never arrived. Panic set in, and she quickly called 911 to report her daughter missing. During the initial investigation, it was revealed that Stephen Stearns had been the last person to see Madeline. He claimed to have dropped her off at a local church near the school because she was embarrassed by his car and preferred to walk the rest of the way. However, this account quickly came under scrutiny. As the day progressed, law enforcement officers and the community launched a frantic search for Madeline. Bloodhounds and search teams scoured the area, but there were no signs of the 13-year-old. Meanwhile, Stearns appeared in several news interviews, displaying a nervous demeanor that many found unsettling. February 27, 2024, the search for Madeline intensified. Missing posters were distributed throughout the community, and a Facebook group, Madeline Soto Strong, was created to coordinate efforts and share updates. As the investigation deepened, more inconsistencies in Stearns' story began to surface. February 28, 2024, just days after Madeline's disappearance, police discovered deeply troubling evidence on Stephen Stearns' phone. Explicit photos and videos, some appearing to feature Madeline, were found despite Stearns' attempts to delete them. The content suggested a pattern of predatory behavior that extended back at least 2 years. That evening, Stearns was arrested on child pornography charges and sexual battery. He was immediately named the prime suspect in Madeline's disappearance. March 1, 2024, at 4:30 p.m., after a grueling 4-day search, Madeline's body was found in a heavily wooded area near Hickory Tree Road in Kissimmee. Her body was in an advanced state of decomposition, and the scene was described as horrific, with flies covering her remains. The discovery of Madeline's body confirmed the community's worst fears, leaving many on edge.
It broke my heart because the first thing that came to my mind was my own daughter. And I'm sure that everybody thinks of that at a tragic moment like this one.
From a missing person to a homicide, community members are trying to come to grips with what is now a death investigation in the disappearance of 13-year-old Madeline Soto.
She had other family members, schoolmates, people that were around her. And so now we mourn.
Church leaders were planning a prayer circle in hopes of getting little Maddie home safe. But now, with investigators saying all signs pointing to a homicide, the prayer circle has now been turned into a prayer vigil.
We want to let the family know that the church is there for them, that God doesn't abandon them because the situation changes.
Investigators quickly turned their focus to uncovering how she had died and who was responsible. Following the discovery of Madeline's body, investigators focused on piecing together what had happened in her final moments. The state of her remains presented a significant challenge. Decomposition had progressed to the point that determining the exact cause of death was difficult. However, forensic teams worked relentlessly, hoping to find any clue that could shed light on how Madeline's young life had been so brutally cut short. As the investigation continued, more disturbing details about Stephen Stearns began to surface. Surveillance footage revealed Stearns discarding items, including Madeline's backpack and school-issued laptop, into a dumpster at their Kissimmee apartment complex early on the morning of February 26th, the day she was reported missing. Further investigation uncovered that Stearns was driving around with Madeline's lifeless body in the back seat of his car shortly after dumping her belongings. This chilling discovery confirmed that Stearns had likely been involved in Madeline's death from the very beginning. As investigators continued to build their case against Stearns, a new layer of complexity emerged, involving not just Stephen Stearns but also Madeline's mother, Jen Soto. Evidence suggested that Jen may have been aware of the troubling dynamics in her home.
Until that point, when you were shown that she was deceased, your continued first reaction is to protect this guy. You just said, I only saw a picture of him, whatever your verbiage was, I say blowjob, of his penis in her mouth, and your first reaction was, fuck, oh my, victimized? No. She's being abused? No. It's Stefan needs a lawyer. Who the fuck cares if we think he killed her? He's
I don't know why I said that.
But that's the problem. You don't know why. So the reaction in your mind is you are continuously protecting this guy. So why do I sit here and believe that you don't? Because right now you know Stefan killed her. You know Stefan's been raping her. You know without her body, can he be charged with murder?
I don't know.
Exactly. So you don't know what we can do. Do I think we can charge him with murder? It's not up to me. Should he be charged with murder? Yes.
Please.
Does your role in her life lead this to happen? I'll be honest. Yes.
I know.
Since she was a child, since her victimization started, it occurred under your roof and you acted like it didn't exist. And knowing the victimization, knowing how ongoing it is, knowing that you saw a picture of it, not just us telling you, not me and him saying, hey, listen, he's being, I think they had a bad relationship. They showed you a fucking picture of it. And you still protected him. So how am I supposed to not think that the thought process in your mind is until she's found, Stefan can't be charged with murder? Because we both now know that you don't want him to be charged with murder because you want him to have a lawyer.
No, I don't. That
Part
was
of the blowjob.
That was
oh,
then.
He can't be charged with murder.
That was then. Everything that you guys have shown me since then and have shown me that he's
so
the
we had to
lying
show
this
you a
whole
picture
time.
of her dead in a car for you to finally not take his side? Enough? Do you not see where I'm coming from? Like, I'm not trying to be a dick here,
No,
but it makes absolutely no sense that your name is Stefan.
I don't know. Is it
Where does your mind go? Stefan. There should have been no doubt in your mind when they showed you that picture of what he was doing to you, that you had any care in the world other than I want that motherfucker to die. Whether you believe in the death penalty or not.
Madeline had confided in friends about her fears and a desire to run away, indicating that she felt unsafe. This revelation raised unsettling questions. Could Jen have done more to protect her daughter? Were there warning signs she might have ignored? These revelations painted a grim picture of Madeline's final eyes. The fear and desperation she expressed suggested her death might not have been as unexpected as it initially seemed. The community began to question not only Stern's role, but also whether Jen had missed or overlooked signs that could have prevented the tragedy. Was Jen complicit in her silence, or was she just another victim of Stern's manipulative behavior? As more details surfaced, these questions added a chilling new dimension to the case, leaving everyone to wonder, could this horrific outcome have been avoided? The evidence against Stearns was mounting. Despite his initial denials and attempts to evade suspicion, it became increasingly clear to investigators that Stearns had played a central role in Madeline's disappearance and death. On March 3, 2024, authorities took him into custody, charging him with multiple offenses, including those related to Madeline's death. The legal battle surrounding Madeline Soto's tragic death and the alleged involvement of Stefan Stearns continues to intensify. On March 3, 2024, Stearns chose to waive his first court appearance in Osceola County. His attorney represented him in court, acknowledging the charges but denying Stearns' involvement in Madeline's death. Despite efforts from the defense to argue for bail, the judge decided not to set a bond due to the severity of the charges and potential risk to the community, keeping Stearns in custody. On March 12, 2024, the Orange Osceola State Attorney's Office filed 60 new charges against Stearns. These charges include 8 counts of sexual battery on a child under 12, 5 counts of sexual battery on a child aged 12 to 18 in a familial or custodial authority, 7 counts of lewd or lascivious molestation, and 40 counts of unlawful possession of materials depicting sexual performance by a child aged 10 or older. If convicted, Stearns faces life imprisonment or potentially the death penalty. The trial was initially set to begin on May 13, 2024. With a pre-trial appearance scheduled for April 24, 2024. However, due to the extensive witness list and complexity of the case, the trial has been postponed. A new status hearing is scheduled for October 14, 2024, where the court will discuss a revised trial schedule. As the legal proceedings move forward, the community, still in shock over Madeline's death and the allegations against Stearns, watches closely. With the new charges and the rescheduling of the trial, Both the prosecution and defense are preparing for what promises to be a long, grueling battle in the courtroom. The weight of the evidence, combined with the nature of the charges, suggests a trial that will be emotionally charged and closely followed, potentially revealing more details about Madeleine's tragic fate and whether justice will be served. The case of Madeleine Soto is a stark reminder of how little we may know about those around us, even those we trust with our loved ones. As we reflect on this heartbreaking story, we are left wondering, how well do we really know the people closest to us? Could something like this happen again? And most importantly, how can we protect those who are most vulnerable?
Okay, and from what I understand, that you gave the deputies consent to look through your phone. You did? Okay. And you voluntarily gave it to them so they could bring it here to do the extraction and stuff like that. Okay. What do you think was on the phone?
Text messages.
Mm-hmm.
Emails. Phone stuff.
Pictures?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of pictures were on there?
Trading card pictures. Lightsaber pictures. Disney pictures.
Do you have a Google account?
Yeah.
Do you save pictures to your Google account?
Sometimes.
Or is it automatically? I know sometimes phones sync to a cloud and.
Yeah, I think it backs up to Google.
Mm-hmm. And then sometimes when you reset your phone and your phone updates and puts these apps back on your phone, sometimes they will put the images back on your phone.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you have
Oh, I assume so.
any pictures of you and
Probably. I mean, we went to Disney, took selfies on the train. She got back from Puerto Rico and had her hair braided. We got pictures of that. All sorts of pictures. Family events. It was not as much of a shutterbug. Take them every once in a while.
any other pictures that you think of? Here's where I'm going to be brutally honest with you. There's your phone. And I'm pretty sure you know what some of those pictures are about. You're a very intelligent person. And I don't want you to discredit yourself by saying you don't know about all the pictures that are on your phone. You understand what I'm saying? So do you want to add to the list of pictures?
No. Should I be talking with a lawyer right now?